Talking about stars in the sky, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson became a star.
And he's here along with regular Star Talk contributor Chuck Nice. Good morning to you both.
All right, so when people say they want to go into space,
I want to go.
what do they
into space.
typically mean by that?
They mean I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going into space, man. I'm going up there. I'm going up there.
Up there, and generally they mean they want to go into orbit. All right, anyone who has ever been in space.
They don't mean that. They want to go to space, man.
Well, okay, if that's the case, do you know how many people have left low Earth orbit?
Well, first of all, you are going to have to define low Earth orbit for me.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Because
I'll say it another way. All right, the Apollo astronauts. Okay, that left Earth.
Right.
To go to the moon.
All right.
Okay.
And that's space.
Okay, wait a minute. So there was Apollo 10, 11, 12. Not all of them landed, right? As famously Apollo 13 didn't. And Apollo 10 was just a dry run for Apollo 11. But those are the only people who have ever left Earth for a destination.
That's cool.
Every other astronaut, hundreds of them, are called astronauts, and we still say they went into space. And what that means is they went into low Earth orbit.
Oh, that's just awful.
And so low Earth orbit is, in practice, where the space station is. It's about a couple of hundred miles up. So the distance from Earth's surface to the space station is less than the distance from New York City to Washington, D.C.
Oh, God, why are you depressing me like this?
I'm just trying to be honest about this.
This is awful.
Okay? So when people say to me, you want to go into space and because somebody's got some orbital tourist thing, and I'm thinking, to me, space is the large-scale structure of the universe. Thank you. Not boldly going where hundreds have gone before, driving around the block, as low Earth orbit indicates. Okay? So, yeah, you can drive to Earth orbit in, 3 or 4 hours.
Oh.
All right? If the road were pointing straight up. So NASA and others, I'm not implicating NASA uniquely in this, when they say we are going into space, that's what they mean. Okay?
Damn, so SpaceX should be...
No, it gets worse.
They should be called Leo X.
Low Earth orbit X. All right.
So the measuring stick cannot be the atmosphere of the body upon which you stand.
Should not be influenced by your atmosphere. That's correct.
Right.
I can't give that to you. I'm sorry. I understand why you want to use that rule. Because if you're going to have a tourist jaunt and you're not quite going yet into orbit, you want to get at least that high so you can see the night sky in broad daylight. I get that. But I'm just going to say I just went on a very high plane ride. That's all I would say.
But it's still low Earth orbit.
It's still Leo, low Earth orbit.
Damn.
And you're still kind of attached to Earth. And I'm sorry. As an astrophysicist, to me, space is the large-scale structure of the universe.
Going to a destination makes all the difference in the world, so I'm going to give you that, yeah.
You got it. All right, we got to call it quits there. That was another Star Talk Explainer. Chuck, good to have you.
Always a pleasure.
Keep looking up.
The kinds of technologies that we're testing out on Space Station are definitely helping us with our goals of going beyond low Earth orbit. So we have a really robust exploration program at NASA, and that's looking at all the kinds of things that you need to do to send humans in space for long periods of time and to send us really far from our home planet.
The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go, and this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond. and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to, and we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually.
We are still a leader in space exploration, but frankly, I have been pushing NASA to revamp its vision. The shuttle did some extraordinary work in low orbit experiments, this International Space Station, moving cargo. It was an extraordinary accomplishment, and we're very proud of the work that it did. But now what we need is that next technological breakthrough. We're still using the same models for space travel that we used with the Apollo program 30, 40 years ago.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
But the point is, let's start stretching the boundaries so we're not doing the same thing over and over again.
Boldly going where hundreds have gone before, driving around the block, as low Earth orbit indicates. Okay?
But rather, let's start thinking about what's the next horizon, what's the next frontier out there.
I'm Paul Martin with NASA's Office of Inspector General. In light of the enormous costs and challenges and the critical decisions that need to be made in the next several years, we examine NASA's plans for human exploration beyond low Earth orbit in the near term, mid-term, and long term.
With the ISS, we have truly colonized low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit is becoming an increasingly commercial destination. At ESA, we see significant opportunity for sustained business research with industrial partners. It's time to welcome you on board. And as we build humanity's new road back to the moon and onto Mars, we are here in low Earth orbit to stay.
We are here in low Earth orbit to stay. Did I say that? No, but ESA said that. NASA said that. Your number one astrophysicist in the world said that. Your so-called astronauts said that. And your ex-president said that. So when it comes to a reliable source, it's always best to hear it from the horse's mouth itself. And you just heard it from all the horses' mouths, that we cannot travel beyond low Earth orbit. So you may ask, well, what does that mean, Terry? Well, that means everything. Now let me show you what I mean. Now let's take a look here at NASA's little illustrated diagrams of the layers of the atmosphere of Earth. Now, first here you see the troposphere, which extends to about 7 miles high in altitude. This is where your hot air balloons would be aloft. And this next layer is called the stratosphere. This ranges from 7 miles in altitude to 31 miles in altitude. This would be where your commercial flights, your jetliners, and some smaller aircraft would be aloft. And this next layer they call the mesosphere. Now this is basically your halfway point, the middle of the layers of atmosphere, which is from 31 to 50 miles in altitude. And then right here at 62 miles up, you have what you call the Kármán line, okay? Now, once you pass this Kármán line, you are in the layer of the atmosphere known as the thermosphere, which is where your supposed ISS space shuttles, your spacewalks, your SpaceX, and so on supposedly take place right here in the thermosphere, which you can see is between 62 miles up and 440 miles up in the atmosphere. And the ISS is around 200 miles up, as Neil deGrasse told you. Now, we supposedly have one more region, one more layer called the exosphere. Now, no one supposedly has ever been in this part of the atmosphere or further except except the Apollo missions that supposedly went to the moon. And we'll come back to that in the second half of this video. Right now, I just want you to understand the layers of this atmosphere, and especially the thermosphere. And also take note that in all their little diagrams here, they always show these little half-Earths, little dome layers of the atmosphere. Now, this is my favorite little diagram here because it doesn't even show the so-called exosphere. It stops at the thermosphere and shows you the so-called blackness of space after the thermosphere, and then it shows you the little space station up there above the Karma line. Now, the truth of the matter is, there is nothing past the thermosphere. That is where your firmament begins. And they know this. That's why they tell you that they can't go any further than the thermosphere, which is low Earth orbit. Now, like Neil deGrasse said, we call them astronauts. We call it outer space, but it's not. They're not astronauts, and it's not outer space. Like he said, at the most, you just went on a high plane ride, okay? You're still attached to the Earth. It is not outer space. So this is for all you space cadets out there who say, oh, space is real, space is real. The ISS is in space. The SpaceX, what about SpaceX? It's the thermosphere, low Earth orbit, not outer space.
Space is the large-scale structure of the universe. Thank you. Not boldly going where hundreds have gone before, driving around the block, as low Earth orbit indicates. Okay?
Now, if you still cannot understand that the thermosphere, low Earth orbit, is not outer space, I'm going to break it down to you crayon style. Now, for instance, this fish tank represents the world we live in really, really well. For instance, okay, you have the water here. This is the part that's habitable for the fish to live in, okay? And then you have this water level line that separates the water from the oxygen above it. Now, in our world, that would be known as the Karma line. And this area right here would be your thermosphere, low Earth orbit. The space between the Karma line, where it's habitable, and the thermosphere, which is inhabitable. Once the fish crosses this line, it cannot breathe anymore. It's inhabitable. Just like when we cross the Karma line up into this area, we cannot breathe without the assistance of oxygen tanks. But we can still go up here. But that's as far as we can go, just like this fish tank. Even though we can go up into this area, what's above this area? What's above the thermosphere? The lid of the fish tank. Just like the firmament is the lid of the Earth. And like Neil deGrasse said, we call them astronauts. We call it going to space, but it's not space. It is the area between the Karma line and the firmament, the dome, the lid.
Every other astronaut, hundreds of them, are called astronauts, and we still say they went into space. And what that means is they went into low Earth orbit.
Oh, that's just awful.
So NASA and others, I'm not implicating NASA uniquely in this, when they say we are going into space, that's what they mean. Okay?
Okay. So what that means is basically we can't go beyond low Earth orbit because there is a firmament, a lid. And all this does is prove that. And they tell you themselves, no one has ever been beyond this except for the Apollo missions to the moon. Since 1972, no one has been beyond low Earth orbit except for the Apollo crews, which have been proven time and time again to be nothing but a hoax. So if the moon landing and the Apollo program were a hoax and all faked, then there goes any kind of proof whatsoever of evidence that there is an outer space. And also there goes any kind of evidence of a round spherical Earth spinning through space because Apollo were the only ones who supposedly went far enough out to take pictures of this supposed spinning ball Earth that you supposedly live on. Now think about that long and hard as we take a look back on this Apollo program and the moon landing hoax.
Nowadays, outer space is a given in everyone's minds. It's virtually in every movie, video game, comic book, novel, and even music and TV shows, causing mostly everyone to believe in outer space without question, even though they have never been there or seen it for themselves. Did you know that we are told that a mere 536 people have been to space, with only 24 of them traveling beyond low Earth orbit? That's barely a drop in the bucket as far as the entirety of Earth's population is concerned. And one of the funniest things is that all 24 people that have supposedly been past low Earth orbit come from the Apollo missions that took place between 1963 and 1972.
Now think about that. The only people that have been to space, and I say that in quote when I say space, are these 24 guys, and the last time they went was 1972.
The Apollo astronauts, okay, that left Earth,
right,
to go to the moon.
All right,
okay,
and that's space.
But those are the only people who have ever left Earth,
and they just all happen to be Freemasons. And let's have a look at their reaction when being asked about going past low Earth orbit.
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
It doesn't, sir, I don't have nothing to do with this, but you cannot solicit on this property.
We just paid to rent out the penthouse to shoot up there. So
you can't solicit like this on this property.
Keep shooting.
All right, well then I go through my measures.
Yeah. You got to keep shooting, man. Okay, well, you can put it on your shoulder. Don't be shy.
Just come with me, Buzz.
You really like it?
Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
You want me to knock you in the head?
Well, I want you to swear to God on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Okay.
If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Several, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Owens. Bart Several, ABC Digital.
How are you?
Good. I'm the gentleman who found the classified tape from your mission of you faking the window shot. Oh, asking you to swear in the Bible that you orbited the moon.
Would you please go away?
Well, if you really orbited the moon, why won't you swear in the Bible that you did so? I just don't understand why if you orbited the moon you wouldn't have a problem about swearing to the Bible on it. Can you tell me why? Are you afraid for the truth to come out? Tell us, what is this video? I'm not quite following it on right now.
Yes. From the challenges by the group that has said we never went to the moon, and they're trying to pick holes in some of the lunar photographs. And it's an interesting subject because they're totally misguided. We did exactly what we said we did. Then they can try to pick holes in the photography all they want to, but if you're going to press me on this, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, because I won't pursue this. All of this attempt to say the Apollo programs were fake is just sheer nonsense, and you can talk till hell freezes over, and you're wrong. Okay?
Well, would you affirm?
I won't continue on this line.
Would you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
You bet your sweet ass.
Okay. Put your left hand on the Bible. Put your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand and say, I, Edgar Mitchell.
I, Edgar Mitchell.
Affirm.
Affirm.
under penalty of eternal damnation.
I don't believe in that, but penalty of eternal damnation.
That I walked on the moon on Apollo 14.
That I walked on the moon on Apollo 14.
Well, you know, you're the first astronaut to do that. We asked 6 other astronauts to swear on the Bible, and they refused to do it.
Okay, turn off the camera. Your interview is done. I've given you all the time I'm going to give you.
Okie dokie. Good to meet you.
I don't say it's a pleasure.
Understand.
Please get your ass out of my house.
Okay. As an independent producer, okay, we're heading out. Doing that is against moral ethics. Lying about going to the moon is a satanic lie of gigantic proportions.
I don't hit people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get...
I'm heading out. I appreciate it.
And get the hell out of my house. Don't get a gun to shoot them at them before they get out of the office?
We have a video camera running if you want to do it.
Right.
That would be great footage for us. See you later. In court, I hope. Want to call the CIA? Have them whacked?
Now you would think that these guys would be falling to their knees to swear on the Bible that they walked on the moon. You think it would be something they'd be proud of, but that's not their reaction. They're acting like criminals with something to hide, like someone who just got caught lying or cheating. But anyways, as I was saying, out of 7.8 billion people in the world, only these handful of people say they've been to space. And that's what your whole belief system lies upon. These 24 guys, what they say they've seen. Freemasons. And no one since then has been beyond low Earth orbit because they lost the technology to go back there.
Go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
They never lost the technology. They never had it. And as long as they say they lost it, can't none of these new astronauts try to go there, and that's their excuse, so they never find out there's a firmament. You can't go anywhere beyond what they call low Earth orbit. And that is why every rocket or shuttle launch that you've ever seen in your life on TV always curves off because there's a firmament. There is no place to go.
But Bill, there's no big glass dome over the Earth. But Bill, there is no big glass dome over the Earth.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And that's the farthest that we can go. That's the farthest that we can go.
Where the hidden shadows play. The firm